I'm a big Disney fan, and I'm here today to share something I just recently learned, considering the dark side of Disney. And that's Disney has been responsible for the death of pets. Yes, actual live pets. So I'm going to quickly talk about three examples. In 1996, when Disney released the live action version of 101 Dalmatians, many families wanted to get a Dalmatian for their child. I mean, who wouldn't want this little cute little bundle of fur? But Dalmatians are not at all like what the movie portrays them to be. They're aggressive, energetic, stubborn, and they don't particularly like children. They've been known to bite too. So after the film's release, many of these pets were abandoned within a year or two because they just weren't working for families. On top of that, because of the demand for these dogs, people started breeding them, weren't being trained properly, and the dogs started having more defects like deafness and even urinary tract problems. So the medical bills for having a Dalmatian is actually quite high. And again, people just didn't afford that and didn't expect that when they were getting a family pet. But Disney's pet toll death count doesn't just end with furry, cute dogs. No, no, no. Looking at Finding Nemo, once that movie came out, clownfish, the demand for it tripled. In fact, SavingNemo.org, which is a conservation project, has estimated that over 1 million clownfish are taken from the ocean, the coral reefs, each year. And 40% of these fish get shipped to the United States alone, making the US the biggest consumer of this exotic fish. Some areas have been so overharvested that there are just no clownfish left in that local area anymore. On top of that, the process of getting it is inhumane. People actually use cyanide sometimes to help the fish fall asleep. And so it's easier to catch. But as you can imagine, putting poison onto a coral reef has its drawbacks. Getting the right dosage could not happen sometimes. The fish die. And also, it's probably not great for the coral to have cyanide on it. So it's really inhumane how these fish are being captured. Um, Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, okay, fine. But this isn't actually Disney's fault. These are just people watching a movie and making bad choices from it. Okay, fine, maybe. But sometimes Disney just messes up and innocent puppies die. I'm not kidding. This happened in Snow Buddies, one of those Air Bud franchise movies. We lost count of all of them. But this time Disney messed up. They actually worked with underage puppies who were not yet vaccinated. And as a result, several of these puppies died and they got parvovirus. In fact, by the end of the movie, most of the puppy crew had gotten sick, and the Animal Humane Society was not able to even accredit the movie properly, saying that it was an unfortunate, mismanaged film. So I guess the takeaway from this is that, it's easy to get caught up in films and excited. Disney transports us to fantastic lands, right? We get into the emotion, the music, and it's easy for families to be like, I want a pet that brings that to our family. But we got to be careful and make sure that we realize it is fiction still, and that having a pet is a big responsibility. You got to research, you got to make sure it's the right fit. And likewise, companies have a responsibility too if they're working with live animals to make sure that they're treated with the same respect and dignity that we would of a human crew. Anyway, I hope that this was an informative video for you, and thanks for watching.